So this guy walks over, and he just spits fucking blood out on the floor.
Shit never is as bad as it seems. Fuck a lifespan, this is just one long dream.
How's it going, everyone? It's your man, Lost Disciple, the voice box of the underground YouTube. Got stitches. The lighting is kind of bad, so you won't be able to see it super well, but I was skateboarding and went down a ramp and tried to grab onto the fence, and I sliced my hand open. So kind of threw me off track a little bit for the things I had going on this month, but don't worry, everything's about to be back on schedule. I got a couple good things planned this month, but to kick off this continuation of what was supposed to be starting back about a week and a half ago, I'll tell you guys a little story. And this story, of course, is going to be the process of me getting my stitches, because if you know me, you know every adventure I'm on is a bizarre adventure, whether it be going to the fucking supermarket or, goddammit, I'd be doing something crazy like a quest in Skyrim. Something always bizarre. It's always popping off. So let me take you back to, like, it was about a week ago. Tomorrow it'll be an official week. So about a week ago, I was jotting some ideas down about the things I was going to do for this month, which I was going to call it Losttober. It's still Losttober, so we're still on track with that. But I was hanging out with my friends, and we were trying to get into the groove of skateboarding. And it was something I was doing when I was a kid, but I never really got too into it because I was always scared of falling and hurting myself. So got older, and I'm just kind of like, you know, I'm not a fucking pussy no more, dude. Just got to send it sometimes. So I was feeling ballsy. I'm gotten a little bit better, to be honest with you. It is kind of fun, I can't lie. Like, even when you bust your ass a couple times and get hurt, it still is kind of fun to get back on that board and ride it. So we were going over to the skate park. It was about it was late. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and it was a skate park that me and my friends were talking about that we wanted to go to. It's really like, because the skate park in our neighborhood is garbage. Like, the concrete is really bumpy. There's like cracks in the road and the grooves, like where the ramp meets the concrete again. So like, it's not super smooth pavement to really ride the skateboard if you're trying to learn, you know what I'm saying? It's not ideal practical pavement, man. If you're a skateboard rider, you know what I'm talking about. So my friend kept telling me, like, dude, the skate park like 30 minutes away from where we live is really, really, really nice. And I was like, you know what? I just got one of my cars fixed. So I was like, let's take a trip down there. Let's go ride this fucking skateboard at the skate park. So we get to the skate park. The skate park's fucking beautiful, by the way. And the concrete's nice and flat. Like, there's mad, like, little baby ramp hills, and there's, like, the big steep fucking ones where you basically gotta, like, hop down halfway into it. And, you know, I'm having a blast. I'm going down, like, the little baby pipes, trying to get used to, like, the speed, because, like, dude, like, I'm fucking tall as shit. And shifting your weight, because you gotta shift your weight when you're on it, the skateboard. So it looks easy when you see someone that's been riding a skateboard for, like, 20 years doing it, but, like, when you're starting off, it's really fucking hard. So going down the ramp, and you know, like that thing where like you hop on the board kinda to go down, do that, go on the board, and I guess I didn't shift my weight properly, so I go down too fast and I slip. So I grab the fence, I cut my finger. So cut myself, I take my shirt off because I had nothing to wrap my hand off, and I'm applying pressure and I'm looking at my hand. So, like, you know that thing like when you hurt yourself and you don't really want to look at it because you're not sure how bad it is? Because I took a glance at it, and I seen like the skin and the white shit underneath your fleshy stuff under your skin. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of nasty. So I kept it wrapped up. I drove literally like, so I dropped my friend off. I drove all the way back to my mom's house, showed her I had cut my finger, and we're thinking, all right, maybe we could put butterfly stitches on it, because her friend knew how to do like the butterfly stitches thing, and then it'll be good. So we go to the hospital. We go to her friend's house. It's like fucking 12 o'clock in that night. It's a Friday night. It's like 12 o'clock. Dude, it's fucking like, and I'm in the city, so like, it's fucking crazy. If you can already imagine how the hospital is. So before we get to the hospital, when we get back, we're going to her friend's house, and she's looking at the finger. So she's like, you know that scene where the guy is stitching up Woody back from the Toy Story when Woody rips his arm and the guy has him sewed. It's like that. So the guy, you know, she goes, she puts the magnifying lens on my finger. She's like looking at it with the butterfly stitches, and she's like, okay. She grabs it because like it was so. I'm gonna put a picture on screen like for you can see what my finger looked like before I got the stitches. So if you don't like nasty stuff, I'll give you a warning right now. And 1, 2, and 3, here it is. So my finger looked like. So she's looking at it and she's like, okay, I gotta pinch the skin together. So she goes to grab it. As soon as she like goes like this to try to pinch the skin, it just blood spurts out, and she's like, okay, you gotta go to the hospital. So my mom is like, all right. So we go to the ER, the emergency room. So where my mom lives, she lives in the city. So like, I have no idea how the hospitals work out in the city. I live in the fucking sticks. So usually you go to the hospital, you go to the emergency room, you get what you got to get, and you get the fuck out. So mind you, it's a Friday night in a city, and I'm going to the emergency room. Me, I have nothing to. I'm not sure what I'm expecting. So when we walk in, I see like the first thing that was out to me was the waiting room. You know, like how hospitals like have like a decent waiting room, like, you know, you got your vending machines, your TVs, like the hospital ambiance. You got your couple people sitting at the chairs holding like their arms and shit because it's falling off. Like, you know, you got it's a decent hospital setup. Yeah, there's niggas dying next to you, but at least it's like a nice room to be in when you're dying. This hospital, bro, the waiting room was cut in half. Like, it's cramped. There's just seats. There's no TVs. There's like a vending machine tucked away all the way in the corner with some nasty ass snacks. There's barely any wall electrical outlets. So I'm sitting here and there's mad fucking people. So I'm thinking, all right. I look around and I'm looking at my mom. And my mom, when she walks in, 'cause she's been here before, she just is like, and she's like, oh no, I want to go home. I'm like, uh-oh. So based off her expression, I'm like, okay, that's not good. And then this guy, like, over where the security is, because like in the front of the hospitals there's like security. So this guy walks over and he just spits fucking blood out on the floor. Like, this dude literally just goes and spits blood out, a big puddle of blood in the middle of everybody. And I'm like over sitting down in the corner, me and my mom, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then everybody gets up, and the security guy's about to, like, dude, the security guy is literally about to beat, if he wasn't a security officer, even though he was a security officer, he probably good to this, he was literally going to beat the fuck out of this guy. Like, he was going to lay the fuck smack on this dude. And he's like, dude, what the fuck did you just do? And all the nurses and the doctors get up. They're like, what are you doing? Why did you do that? And then it's like, I'm like, bro, like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. The fuck are you spitting blood out on the floor trying to get everybody sick, bruh? That's nasty. And then he's like, I've been here since 7 o'clock and you niggas had me waiting. So I'm tired of fucking sitting here. And then they're like, oh, that's no way to get our attention, blah, blah, blah. And now the nurses and the doctors are mad, and I'm sitting here with my finger, and I'm just like, bro, I just want stitches to just get out of here. Like, I don't want to be here that long. So then eventually I get called to go see by like the nurse that checks you in, and they're like, oh, what's your pain rating? What's this or that? And I'm sitting there, I'm talking to her. And then as I'm talking to her, another girl storms into the fucking the ER room. So then everybody stops and they look at her, and it's this young girl, college girl had to be, and she's fucking crying, and there's blood like all over her hand. And I guess like she must have like cut herself with a knife or something, and she's crying, and her friends are just telling her like, calm down, it's okay, it's okay. And I'm thinking, I'm like, damn. I'm looking at my finger, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, this shit hurt. But I wonder, because I know, like, you ever cut, like, a paper cut or cut yourself with a knife? That stings. So I'm like, she's in a lot of pain. And, you know, I get out of the little nurse checks me out. She gives me a little thing to put around my wrist, and I sit down. And I go sit with my mom, and then my mom, she just keeps it a buck. This is, like, 25 minutes after sitting in the hospital. My mom looks at me. And now it's around, like, 1 o'clock. Because we got to the hospital around, like, 12:30, 12:45-ish. My mom looks at me, she's like, listen, you're probably not getting out of here until like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I have work that same day. So I'm like, oh shit, like I'm really going to be here that mad long for just a couple stitches. And then there's this like, dude, there's a bunch of fucking weird like drug addicts sitting in the hospital too, trying to get their fix. Like sometimes, and there's homeless people because, you know, they don't want to sit outside, so they just go to the hospital if they have problems. So I'm sitting here and I'm just looking at all these different types of people. I'm looking at this lady crying because she cut herself with a knife, this college girl. Then I'm looking at this dude spitting up blood. Then we got this one guy. He said the cops arrested him and brought him here because they thought he was crazy. But then he was talking about methadone, which is shit that they give you when you're like a damn drug addict and you need like your little fix to get it. And then he needed to ride all the way to God knows where. And then I'm sitting there and I'm looking at all these strange individuals in this hospital. No offense to anybody for watching this video, you know, we all have our situations and our problems going on. But I'm like, okay, do I sit here until 7 o'clock a.m.? And my mom's gonna leave because she was wanting to go home. She was not gonna sit here with me until 7 a.m. And she's seen all these, she was like, I'm not doing it for 20 minutes. She sat here for 20 minutes. She was like, I'm not doing it no more. So I'm looking at all these people. My mom just now walks out of the ER. And I'm thinking, I said, my phone's at 10%. Do I risk sitting here possibly until 7 a.m. to get stitches and my phone dies and I have to walk home? Or do I just go with my mom, take the car, drive back to where my town is, where I'm from, go to the hospital out there, which is 40 minutes away, and go literally in and out? So I was like, all right, you know what? I ran right out that fucking emergency room. Like, I literally looked at her walking towards that garage, and then that moment of clarity hit, and I got up. I looked at the drug addict dude that was asking me for a ride, and I just ran right out of the fucking emergency room. I got to my mom's car, and I spooked her because she didn't know I was gonna come with her. So I scare her, and I get to the car. She's like, "Oh shit, you're coming?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not sitting there. I'm just going to Bacchus. Can't do it, bro." So eventually, drop her off. I get in the car and make it to Bacchus Hospital. So I get there, and guess what? The emergency room was completely fucking empty. It was so empty there that the doctors and nurses were literally chit-chatting and laughing, cracking jokes to pass their time of their shift. So I walk in, and I'm telling them, like, you guys are lucky you did not just come from where I just came, because you guys would have been handling with niggas spitting out blood on the floor. You got the drug addict dude over there, you got the drug addict guy over there. There's just a whole bunch of crazy shit going on. So we're all laughing kind of, and I was literally in there for like 25-30 minutes, seriously. So like when I get there, right, the lady that checks me in, because I didn't know this, well, I kind of figured it, but I didn't really know. So when you go to the hospital, once you get checked in by the first nurse, you're technically not supposed to leave the hospital. And since I did that, I walked over to the desk, right, and I'm just like, yeah. They're like, "What's up?" I'm like, I cut my finger. Give her my name, and she's like, "You left that other hospital, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, there was just way too many fucking people there." And we just start laughing. She's like, "Yeah, I get it." Immediately, so just because of that alone, because I went to the other hospital, immediately checks me in. I go to the back, I see the doctor. And then they ask me, they're like, "Why'd you leave?" I'm like, "Dude, I just want this stitched up so I can go home and go to sleep. Like, I don't want to sit until 7 a.m. when I got to go to work literally like 5 hours after that. Like, get these stitches in, send me on my way, and let's go about it." So the doctor goes, gets the stuff for the stitches, and she's laughing because like the way it's split, she's like, "Dude, it looks like a hot dog bun with all this stuff in the middle coming out." And we're laughing, and like it's honestly like, I'm not gonna lie, because this is my second time I got stitches. The first time I got stitches, I don't know if you'd be able to see it because like the lighting in here kind of sucks, but right here, yeah, you're definitely not gonna be able to see it. Somewhere right here, if the scar lingers, I don't even know why I did that. On my palm, I had got four or five stitches or 3 stitches, I don't remember, but this one was on like the bend of the finger. So like I'm sitting there, she grabs the needle, jams it right in between my my index finger, so into the bone right here, and numbs it here, and somewhere around here. Then she takes like this thing and puts it up to the wound and sprays a whole bunch. That part really hurt. It was like when they put the water, or high powered pressure water, or whatever the hell is saline it was, that shit burned. So I'm like, then after that, your finger, after like 2 or 3 minutes, it numbs. That she grabs the needle. And this is the cool part. Like, I should have recorded it, like when they take the skin, because it's crazy to think all that flesh, like your skin is super thin and stretchy. So it's crazy to think that like all that blood, flesh, and all that shit is just tucked under a very thin layer of some very durable skin. So moral of the story is, if you're ever in the city and you got to go to it, if you're in the city and you're not dying or giving birth, don't go to the hospitals out there. If you can, go to an urgent care or take your ass to a boony hospital in the sticks, because you are not, if they basically in the city, if they seen that you made it to the emergency room, then their first assumption is you can wait to be seen because you made it here. So you're clearly not You may be slowly dying, but you're not dead. See? Now, if you get here, the only way you're getting seen is if you come to a city hospital in an ambulance. So, yeah. Also, don't go skateboarding at night and shit. Honestly, don't skateboard at all. My name is Lost Disciple, and I will see you guys in the next video. As always, if you like the video, leave a like. If you dislike it, dislike. Oh yeah, I have another video coming out today as well, just to add as a bonus video, and I have another Back 4 Blood. The Back 4 Blood game came out, and I can't lie. So I'm gonna have my own critique video on that coming out in a couple days. But anyway, without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video. Happy Lost-tober.
Color television, fan on the ceiling, abstract art on the walls, living different. 1989, talking on the phone, wind blowing hard, all the windows closed, turquoise sheets, pink pillows, Motel 6, that's room 24. Meet you in the morning, meet me here tonight. Vibrating bed, gotta say it all right. Black marble sink, gold in the faucets, fresh bar soap, many shampoo bottles. Playing some Atari, she blowing on my cartridge. Room service knocking, I can hear him at the door. Do not disturb, hanging